Make sure. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to day 5. Yes, we have made it to the halfway point. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Happy Sunday morning. A few more people are jumping on. Today is January 5th, 2025. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? We are 5 days into this new year. And my question for you is, what does this feel like for you? What is this first 5 days of 365? Now we got 360 left after today. What does this first 5 days feel like for you? Unmute, put it in the comments. Let's get into it. I want to hear from y'all. Somebody kick us off. And I'll pull our MASH cards in the meantime.
Good morning. I'll go.
Good morning.
Um, it feels like I have an assignment. I'm working on you have an assignment that you're working on that you really love.
What was the last part you said?
You're working on an assignment that you really love, you're interested in, so you're kind of invested in it. That's
Mm-hmm. That's
and
good.
and I'll just drop my gratitude as well. I am
Mm-hmm.
grateful for recognizing that my body needs more rest.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're finished here, I need to go back to bed.
Nice. Beautiful. Awesome. Yay. Thank you so much for sharing. Beautiful. All right. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Unmute or put it in the comments. What does the first five, I'm just gonna say the first 5 years. What does the first 5 days feel like? Good morning, Natalie. She said it feels like it is truly my time and my turn. Yes, yes. Don't it feel like it? Don't you know it? Don't you? Ain't that the case? Yes, that's what it feels like. Shakila, good morning. She said it feels like the mission is activated for sure. Yes. Good morning, Diana. She said these 5 days feel like an intentional reset. Yes, 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 yes. I'm glad. That's what I want. Everything that y'all are saying is perfect. Awesome. Let me hear from the rest of you guys. What do you got? Good morning, Shanique. Hello, hello, Sanithia. Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, hello, Chandre, also known as Chandra. Okay. Card number 19 is our pick. Card number 19 is our pick. And 19 says, my life is what I create it to be. The current condition and state of your life is what you have created it to be. And pause right there, because this is all of what we've been talking about the last 5 days. The current condition and state of your life is what you have created it to be. If you are displeased or dissatisfied, that's an experience you created. You may be saying, no, you don't understand who I share my life with, or what I'm doing, or what I've been through. However, your life is yours and yours alone, no matter who you chose to share it with or what experiences you're having. If you're sharing your life with a person or a situation that you don't like, know that you are choosing it. You get to create your life experience to be whatever you want it to be. Each day, you have an opportunity to create the life you want to live. Decide to take this moment to move in the direction of the life you enjoy living. It starts with your mindset. It starts with your mindset. So that's what we've been talking about. Today, we got some good stuff to get into. I'm so excited about it. So make sure you got your pen and your pad. Make sure your attention is on. Make sure you're ready to be active and responsive. This is your journey. Y'all are not here for me to be your entertainment. This is not another thing that you have to do. This is something that you're choosing consciously. So in your conscious choice, I want you to be active. I want you to take you serious. You know, you ain't even got to take me serious, but take you serious. Take your time serious. Take your morning serious. Shanique says, good morning. It feels like I'm starting from a much higher level of awareness and clarity. It feels easy. So good. And the fact that you're an OG and you're saying that is perfect, because that means that what's happening is that it's a stack, right? Because we learn through repetition. So being able to hear some of the same things in a different kind of way and have life experiences make it lock and key. So it does feel that way. I totally understand that. I get it, even for myself. Chandra said it feels like I am ready for life. Love you too, boo. Yes, 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 yes. Sanithia said it feels like purpose and clarity activated. Beautiful. Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. So y'all do me a favor. Go ahead and put your gratitude in the comments. If you haven't shared your gratitude, put it in the comments. What are you grateful for? And be detailed, right? Be detailed in your gratitude. Be very specific in your gratitude. Like, what are you grateful for today? What today is your heart leaping for? I'll share mine. I'm grateful for this journey. I'm grateful for this reset. Everything that y'all described, that's what this, from the end of the year, that last week of 2024, last week, and this whole week, just feels like an intentional internal reset. But also, it really started for me at the retreat that we had in North Carolina. That for me was the last experience that I needed to produce for 2024. And it didn't come without challenges, but every challenge we overcame it. Every challenge, it was no problem. Every challenge, we showed up for the expansion of not just the retreatees. And shout out to y'all who are here who experienced our sacred space in North Carolina. And it truly was our sacred space, nestled in a beautiful 3-story home and a 3-story experience, and lakefront, sunsets, beautiful floor to ceiling windows, and sisterhood, fireplace, just all the things. Like I can't tell you how much I think about the space we were in and how I believe I'm gonna go back to it at some point. Such a good and beautiful experience. But those kind of experiences for someone who hosts and create sacred spaces for us to do this work, it absolutely is my joy, right? Because you still have to work, right? I'm not a participant in it. I am the host. But to be able to sit in it with y'all and have the full experience was a really beautiful reset for me as well. And it gave me the energy that I needed to kick off 2025. So I'm grateful for that. When you're ready, unmute or put it in the comments. What are you grateful for? Natalie, thank you so much for putting your gratitude in the comments. She says, I am grateful for the act of self-love in exercising and moving my body. Yes, yes. Thank you for your detail. Thank you for your specificity. Shakila says, I'm grateful for having accessed a new level of my truth and to express it authentically. Yes, 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 yes. Sanithia said, I haven't been feeling well, so I'm grateful for home remedies, essential oils that helped me feel a little better. So I woke up earlier and was able to be on time. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Keep sharing your gratitude. All right, y'all. Let me adjust uh, my air in the house because this light is baking me. Let's get right into it today. So we'll do a review of yesterday. We won't go through all the days because I want to use the majority of my time to talk about, you know, the things for today. But let's do a little review from yesterday. So I want to start with Shakila. And Shakila, tell me since yesterday, since providing, right, responding, reacting, but then also like standing in your power, showing up, and like following through all the things. What has been your experience with yourself since the session ended yesterday?
Mm, peace, y'all. That thank you for that question. My experience with myself had been a range of emotion. Um, Yet I'm grateful for the space to be able to observe and not react to, lower feelings or a preset of judgment, um, harmful self-talk, and having a moment. And so I could be myself. I was able to meet myself where I was at, which is why I said I'm grateful for, seeing myself in truth, being able to weigh where I was at. And so I made the decision last night to contribute again via stories. And
Mm.
it scares me for whatever reason to be on Facebook. Facebook is just some big monster to me because it's everybody from all walks of my encounters with these people over time. And maybe later on at another time I can dig into that. But I am proud of myself regardless of who's watching, because no longer is it me being so quiet that I allow for other people to determine what they want about me, but
Mm-hmm.
instead I'm willing today to narrate my own story
Mm-hmm.
and be more of myself. This work consumes me. I can't act like it don't. But
Mm-hmm.
when every time I didn't show up, I was avoiding sharing that part of myself. And so
Mm-hmm.
what this did, it changed everything.
Yeah. I want you to, if you're willing to share, I want you to share what was those array of emotions? Was it, were you offended? Were you embarrassed? Were you like, go, like, take me through it. What did you feel
Oh
yesterday?
yeah. Um, I mean, even in the space, I feel that I have the ability to hold myself accountable. I've been so self-critical over my entire life that I'm still coachable. And so I've experienced like, okay, what can I say? The emotion, yes, embarrassment came. Um, it came and left.
Mm,
It came and left.
nice.
And yet again, it's like, oh, this, even, the experience of being coached in such a vulnerable way. Oh, this is going to live on the internet, the enters of
Mm,
net.
mm,
And but yet, instead of being a smallness in me, I recognize that it is the pivot.
mm-hmm,
And so, it was a moment. And also, when I took it was expansiveness. It was me feeling like, oh, I have room to be. And so I guess it was a feeling of relief at the same
mm,
time as well.
mm-hmm,
And then choosing later on, even though it was 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, I gotta do it. I've been on the
mm-hmm,
phone, chopping it up again, holding space for people, holding space for friends and family. I got to take this time for me. Girl, I'm gonna call you
mm-hmm,
back. Let me get on this. Let me do
mm-hmm.
this for me, and ultimately
Yeah.
do for other people. And then the responses, even from last night at the but, when folks is in the bed, I'm thinking people are still saying, "Hey, I saw your story. Are your services?" I got a comment that said, "Are your services covered by insurance or EAP?" Like, girl, what? No, they not. But and so that's things that I still have to address. But wow, gratitude for the opportunity for creating this moment for myself. I'm so
Absolutely.
proud.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for the push, because I knew that it was time. I knew that come what may, this year could not be another year like it's been in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
full. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
still, even though I'm scared, still, moment by moment, even though I'm analyzing what other people are thinking about me, sizing me up, thinking, I have a very, I feel that I'm surrounded by many traditional people, traditional thinkers. And so, the idea of being too much, or, questioning, well, what does she believe? Do she even believe in God? Things like that, that were my core beliefs, that where religion was so important to me. But because I stepped out of that construct and really got to access more of myself, my heart, and my relationship with God, it it's just something that, I'm still working through,
Mm-hmm.
about being perceived and being
Yeah.
understood. I brought that to this community, being understood. And it was also in that day that I realized, I don't have to be understood. I've been doing work
Mm-hmm.
on myself to understand myself, getting into
Yes.
my own spiritual sciences, loving and being just loving myself
Yeah.
despite what religion would say you should be unlovable, or
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
You fill in the blank. And
Yeah.
so it's my walk and this is my life. And I'm just so happy to be at this point.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. Yeah, that's what this space is about. And also, have you seen the comments on YouTube? Have you watched the replay yet?
No.
Yeah, you're a motherfucking hero. You and Judith both. And the reason why is because, the thing is, we're mirrors for each other.
Yeah.
And when people see themselves, like you're a hero in this community. The both of you are. Y'all finished what y'all started. Y'all did what y'all said y'all was gonna do. With the
Yeah.
fire, with the push, with accountability, that's what you invested in. You invested in having somebody
Absolutely.
that's gonna say, nope, no excuse, not okay. Let's get to it. Let's move forward. Because not only did you tell me what you wanted, not only did you share what your desires are, for the both of you, I've been with you for multiple years in some capacity. And
Yes.
so this year is action. And it's us doing what we said we would do, or being honest that we're not ready to do it. And
Yes.
it's okay either way. But the problem is most people don't want to admit that they're not ready. Because to admit that I'm not ready means that, but I want it. So what? So what? So what? A lot of people want a lot of things, but aren't ready for what it's going to take in order to have the result of the thing you want, which is getting out of your own way. And what you gave an example of yesterday was a willingness to get out of your own way. You were scared, you were nervous, you literally gave me a whole bunch of excuses that ain't have shit to do with why you didn't go live. You
Yes,
talked
I
about your
did.
hair, all this other kind of shit that didn't matter, right? But you
Yes.
also like stayed. That's the courage. Shakila, that's the courage. You stayed. You stayed in it.
Yeah.
You stayed in the fire. You received. And then you took action even still. Other people would have folded. Their ego
Yeah.
would have got the best of them and they would have taken personal my approach. But you
Oh,
stayed.
no way.
And you showed up for you. It wasn't about Precious. It wasn't
Yeah.
about Coach P. It was for you. So you showed up for you yesterday in a way that, one, you haven't shown up for yourself in a long time.
Yeah.
And for two, that other people probably will never show up for themselves in. And you inspired folks yesterday. So between the comments here and the replay, people are like, go Shakila, great job. Like,
Yeah.
because people who are actually doing the work understand. Those
Yeah.
who aren't doing the work, this ain't for them.
Yeah.
This ain't for nobody who ain't investing in themselves and are ready to be on the next level. That's not for them. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you to you and
Thank you.
Judith for allowing us to eat from your plate. I appreciate that. Um, here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to get a piece of paper, clean sheet of paper, because I want to get into this lesson for today. It's such a juicy lesson. It's such a juicy experience, and it's such a beautiful segue from yesterday. From yesterday, I want you to write at the top of your paper, belonging, belonging. So today we're talking about, of course, how our emotions help align us with what we desire, right? But we're talking about emotional alignment, we're talking about divine timing, and we're also talking about this sense of belonging. Okay? All right, so I'm going to cut my camera off because for those who are watching the replay, I need you to follow along with us. I need everybody who camera on or off, it doesn't matter. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to, hopefully no one's driving. If you're driving, definitely don't close your eyes. But if you're not driving, close your eyes. And I want you to allow the words that I'm going to read to you. I'm going to read a passage to you, and I want you to allow those words to wash over you. So don't cheat yourself. Get comfortable, get still, keep your eyes closed, stay internal, and allow these words to wash over you. All right, let's do it. Our belonging is undisputed. No longer auditioning, we're confirmed in our right to exist. We live with a sense of freedom and possibility. We create a life of meaning and fulfillment, absorbed in making the unique contribution to the human community that is ours to make. The circle is a home to a the circle is a home to the circle is home to a flow of satisfying relationships, meaningful work, inspired learning, endless resources and opportunities, laughter and creativity, and a prevailing sense of ease. In the circle, life is not a series of obstacles to overcome. It's a steady flow of possibilities. You already belong here. No person or condition has the power to keep you out. You alone can take yourself out of the circle, but your place will always be reserved for you. Your place in the circle never expires. If you leave, it's simply vacant until you return. So come on in, or you may find that you don't have to move at all, that the circle expands to include you. The circle can be as spacious or as cozy as you like. I'm going to read it again. Our belonging is undisputed, no longer auditioning. We're confirmed in our right to exist. We live with a sense of freedom and possibility. We create a life of meaning and fulfillment, absorbed in making the unique contribution to the human community that is ours to make. The circle is home to a flow of satisfying relationships, meaningful work, inspired learning, endless resources and opportunities, laughter and creativity, and a prevailing sense of ease. In the circle, life is not a series of obstacles to overcome. It's a steady flow of possibilities. You already belong here. No person or condition has the power to keep you out. You alone can take yourself out of the circle, but your place will always be reserved for you. Your place in the circle never expires. If you leave, it's simply vacant until you return. So come on in. Or you may find that you don't need to move at all. The circle expands to include you. Deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. Last one, make it count. Deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. Beautiful. When you're ready, cut your cameras back on. If they're already on, perfect. Gently open your eyes. Gently open your eyes. All right, so unmute for me, Shanique, Judith, Shakila, and anyone else who can unmute. I want to know first thoughts. Don't even think about it. Just unmute first thoughts. And type it in the comments for those who aren't able to unmute.
I can go. The second time reading it, first off, I must say, I'm always grateful for your obedience because it's the second time I got it,
Mm,
not the first. And that was
mhm.
always a thing with me. And but I realized that the end of the complete passage is what did it for me. It's expanded to include me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the knowing that if I move away from it, I have the opportunity to come back to it because it's there. I'm not losing my place.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's it's an affirmation, it's a confirmation,
Mhm.
and it ends with knowing
Mhm.
that I can choose to return because my
Mhm.
space will never be deleted. I
Mhm.
belong.
Mhm.
That's what that did
Mhm.
for me. That's what,
So good.
yeah.
Very good. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, who's up next? Just go for it. First thoughts.
My I wrote some notes,
Okay.
and what I wrote is that my life's journey has been worth it. I have access to real abundance. I am surrounded with loving acceptance, and there was always room for the fullest version of me. And
Mhm.
that last statement it really means something to me, knowing that in this space,
Mm-hmm.
before I was here, there was room for me.
Mm-hmm.
And even for the person that I'm becoming, this space can yet and still hold me into coming
Mm-hmm.
into that newest version, that highest version
Mm-hmm.
of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
forever grateful, because
Mm-hmm.
that's that intrusive thought that's, you're going to be alone.
Yeah.
Who are you going to have?
Yeah.
I've lost so many people just in the last few years, and the thought that you won't have anyone to really hold you in this person that you're becoming. Everyone's going to be gone. You're not going to have nobody.
Where did you lose the people to?
Some were lost to ascension, to death.
Yeah. Why is it
My
a loss?
exactly, in physical
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want you to reframe it though. You haven't lost so many people. That's
Yes.
not that's not a true statement. A lot of people have transitioned.
Yes.
You've experienced a lot of transition. Yeah, but
And
you haven't lost
that
anybody.
statement, thank you for that. That statement was with me when my best friend and I, our 20-year relationship, two of my best friends, that relationship transitioned, and I said, hey, we've transitioned. It's still everything that it was. I hold the love, but we're just not in each other's spaces.
Yeah,
And so
I got you.
thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. Thank you for sharing. Shanique, what you got?
For me, it made me think about the fact that I always consider myself somebody who stands alone. I actually don't make an effort to like belong in all of the things. And so it actually meant a lot to me when you said that I belonged yesterday. Um, because for me, like I always feel like I'm a little socially awkward.
Mhm.
And so it's hard to actually put myself in a space to communicate, interact with people on those types of levels. And
Mhm.
so listening to it made me feel like, yes, this is a space where I belong, but more so, I have the opportunity to be my full, authentic self and
Yeah.
not worry about being judged in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's why I don't make an effort to belong in all of the things, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm going to be judged. So I tend to
Mm.
myself. Um, and so it was very comforting. Um, and it also made me reflect on how many times I dim my light and try not to take up space.
Mm.
Um, and how you actually kill your personality in those moments when you do stuff like that.
For
Um,
sure.
but knowing that being in this space, I don't have to do that. It's just very comforting.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see the comments. Thank you for that, Shanique. Let me see the comments. Y'all should be typing in the comments. I want to hear from you. This is an active space this morning. So I'm waiting to hear from Natalie, Diana, Chandray. Sanithia said, the part about it being comfy and expansive felt good to me, knowing that the space is saved. Um, I'm going to read something else, and you don't have to cut your cameras off for this. If my aim is to prove I am enough, the project goes on to infinity because the battle was already lost on the day I conceded that the issue was debatable. If my aim is to prove I am enough, the project goes on to infinity because the battle was already lost the day I conceded that the issue was debatable. I'm gonna read it one more time. If my aim is to prove I am enough, the project goes on to infinity because the battle was already lost on the day I conceded the issue was debatable.
Oh, Jesus.
It's already a wrap on whatever day that I concede, right? that my worthiness, that my belonging, that my enoughness is debatable, it's already a wrap. Natalie said, belonging is important to me and why I am here. Just hearing from those who shared it confirms we are more alike than we realize. Yes. But what I want to know is, what does this passage mean to you? What does this passage mean? Diana said, is this the circle? It could be, it don't have to be. This is just in general. I wouldn't get hung up on the circle as much as I would allow space for what this made you feel like. What did it make you feel like, regardless of what the circle is? And then I want to read this next part.
Okay. Did you ask
Did you
me
have,
to respond?
say it again?
Okay. I'm going to respond to this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. To your question, it's not so much. I just wanted to make sure that we were talking about, like you said, in general, and not a more um, smaller microcosm of the in general. Um,
Don't
I
matter,
love
even if you took it out to mean the small, it don't matter. Like that's a my
okay.
it don't it's a ancillary, it don't matter detail. Like if for you it came up as this circle, then you can speak to that. If for you it came up as like the circle, you can speak to that. I just want to know how it made you feel.
It made me. What the passage makes me feel. It was confirming. I feel like I belong, but sometimes I feel like I don't fit in. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like okay, maybe this is my tribe, and the other portion of the circle where I have been is not really my tribe, or I've expanded beyond that space. But I feel like I belong, like I should take up space, like this is my space right here to take up. Um,
Okay.
and it's confirming to me, to know that even if I feel a little uncomfortable at times, that that it's okay. I need to work through why I feel uncomfortable, but I do belong.
So if you have a feeling, right? This is an example of wanting something but not believing that whatever to have it. Could be worthiness, could be fear, could be whatever. But here's the thing. To know that you belong somewhere, but also to not feel like you fit in is also connected to a sense of belonging. But the thing I want us to understand, right? The thing I want us to connect to more than anything is when you consider what belonging is, we're talking about belonging, your internal sense of belonging wherever you are. One of the things that came up in these 5 days was age. Another one was financial status. Another one was, religion, right? Those are all spaces where belonging comes up. We can't get away from it. And here is the other part I want you to hear. No one can keep you out but you. There's no fence, there's no gate, there's no ticket taker. No one but you can take yourself out of the circle. The most of us, and most of us do so hundreds of times a day. All right. So before we get into it, I want you to understand that when we talk about the circle in general, remember the description is this, right? Then this is specifically for Diana and anyone else who this has come up for, like, well, what is the circle? This is what it is. The circle is a home, right? The circle is home to a flow of satisfying relationships, meaningful work, inspired learning, endless resources and opportunities, laughter and creativity, and a prevailing sense of ease. That's the circle. Everybody got it? So the circle is home to a flow of satisfying relationships, meaningful work, inspired learning, endless resources and opportunities, laughter and creativity, and a prevailing sense of ease. Remember a time when you felt carefree, safe, energized, and happy? That feeling, a pervasive sense of glad assurance. In the circle, life is not a series of obstacles to overcome. It's a steady flow of possibilities. You already belong here. No person or condition has the power to take you out. Does that make sense? So that's why I wanted you to close your eyes and really take this in. Because when we think about the circle, I want us to think about it now. Everybody got it? Anybody got any questions about what the circle is and how to perceive the circle, right? I want to make sure you got it. We're talking about just this circle, this steady flow, right? All right. So here's the deal. When you consider what the circle is, the next statement, this is just a mindset shift. If my aim is to prove I am enough, you can replace enough with worthiness, uh pretty enough, tall enough, young enough, old enough, whatever. If my aim is to prove I am enough, the project goes on to infinity, meaning it goes, it's of no consequence, because the battle was already lost on the day I conceded. The issue was debatable. If at any time I get into a conversation, yes, I am enough. Yes, I am pretty. I am smart enough. I do belong. I've already conceded that there's some part of me that doesn't feel like I am, and that's okay. Especially in this space, right? That's exactly what we want to uncover. Because every time we're able to uncover that, we're able to do the work to actually get you to the truth of where you are. Now, this is all that's required to come back to the circle if you find yourself out of it, to give your consent. Give your consent. That is all that's required to come back into the circle. Only your consent. The Latin root word for consent is consentire, right? Means to join with feeling. When you give your consent, you're saying with feeling, with conviction, I am agreeing to this. Perfect, isn't it? We experience being either in or out of the circle according to how we feel, how we are, and according to what we say is so. I'm going to read that again. Close your eyes like Judith if you need to. We experience being in and out of the circle according to how we feel, how we are, and according to what we say is so. The power of decision, the power of what I say. I'm deciding if I'm in the circle or not. And choosing to belong to the circle is an act of sovereignty. We belong because we choose to belong. We don't force it. We don't demand it, because that would mean we're still playing the game of eligibility. We don't force it. We don't demand it, because that would mean we're still playing the game of eligibility. Consent is simply accepting our place in the flow of life. It's a choice made from moment to moment. Whenever you notice you've stepped out of the circle, consent to come right back in. What does that mean to y'all? Anybody can unmute. I don't have to hear from everybody. I just want to know.
So what it means to me is that I'm the only one that can remove myself from the circle. I'm the only one that can put myself back in the circle. I just have to feel like that's where I belong. Just
You have to
join in the
decide.
flow.
Not feel like. You have to decide that that's how you're going to feel. But I want you to put it in the terms that you talked about. Put it in the terms of not fitting in. What does it mean as it relates to fitting in?
Um, so oftentimes I think that I don't fit in because I'm not understood, right? But really, I think that's my ego telling me that I'm a little too deep for a lot of people, which makes me feel outside of the circle again. And realizing that all I have to do is listen to what other people are saying to see if it aligns with what I'm saying or feeling, and decide that that's where I want to be. I mean, just
No, 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 no. I want you to pause here, Diana. I want you to hear this. The circle is your decision. So as it relates to you fitting in or not, it's not about other people at all. Them showing up a certain way and responding to how you show up has nothing to do with the decision you make about how you feel about being in whatever circle. But when we're thinking about the circle that we're describing, where it's beautiful relationships, where it's, expansive opportunities, where it's creativity, that's the circle. And with that in mind, as it relates to the overall feeling of you feeling like you don't fit in, that's a story you've told yourself that you've conceded from outside perspective. The battle was lost the moment you conceded. I don't fit in because of how they're responding. And the only reason why you would feel like you don't fit in is because you've decided to concede with what they said. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So ultimately, your responsibility is to decide that I fit in everywhere that I want to be. Not let me listen to what they're saying and see if it aligns. No, it's not about them at all. It's about you deciding. You deciding. You literally get to decide. Unmute Diana and tell me what you got.
So what I hear you saying to me, what I picked up was I'm responsible for being in or out of the circle, right? It doesn't matter what anybody else says. It doesn't matter whether
Yes.
I think they understand me. It doesn't matter whether
Yes.
I agree with what they say or not. I'm still in the circle as long as I feel like I'm in the circle, and as long as I decide that that's where I want to be. Um,
And let me say this. The circle you have in mind is not the circle that we're referring to either, because the circle we're referring to is a home of satisfying relationships.
right, right,
So
right.
if there's a
I'm
place
focused on
where
a
people,
specific instance,
for
and
sure, for
that,
sure.
yeah, right, right,
But
right, right, right,
right. And the point I'm making is when we take this circle, this internal circle of satisfying relationships, meaningful work, inspired learning, endless resources, opportunities, laughter and creativity, and a prevailing sense of ease. If that's the circle, then why would I be anywhere where that's not at?
right,
If
right.
we're talking specific example.
Hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect.
Thank
What's
you.
coming up? What's coming up for you, Shanique?
Uh, um, I think I'm just trying to understand. Like I get the whole, like, if you make the decision to be a part of the circle, but I guess I'm having a hard time separating the circle from people and places.
Okay. Yeah, you sound like what Diana was saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's get into it, right? If the circle, right, is home to a flow of satisfying relationships, meaningful work, inspired learning, endless resources and opportunities, laughter and creativity, and a prevailing sense of ease. In the circle, life is not a series of obstacles to overcome, it's a steady flow of possibilities. We're talking about the circle being a mindset. And if my mindset is that I have an endless flow of possibilities, I have meaningful relationships, I have, an overflow of creativities. If I encounter people who don't reflect that, there's no reason for me to then value my worthiness or my enoughness based off of that external experience because it doesn't determine it. My circle is internal. I belong to this circle. My circle is internal. It's mentally internal. It's energetically internal. I belong to this circle. And so when we think about a sense of belonging, I want to take it a step further. Okay. Imagine that the circle, Diana, you're never alone, baby. Imagine we're all reflections. Imagine that the circle is where God lives. Imagine the circle is where God, where source, whatever you believe lives. And it's not man-made. There's no fence, there's no tickets, there's no eligibility. You don't have to prove it, you don't have to fix anything. You come in, you sit down, and you experience all these things. And anytime you're experiencing all these amazing things, you know you're in the circle. Anytime you're not experiencing that, you know you have mentally and energetically taken yourself out of the circle. Shakila said a freaking breakthrough. Tell me what you're picking up, Shanique. Yes, yes, yes. You can think of it as a vortex as well. Yep, yep, yep.
I guess like I don't have to necessarily think of belonging in terms of people, spaces, and situations, but it was my space to begin with.
Exactly. And belonging was never about people, places, or things. We take our sense of not belonging into relationships, into high school, into college, into our jobs, into our romantic situations, into our bank accounts, into the sororities and the groups and the people that we want to hang with. We take our sense of not belonging there, project it onto them, they reflect it back to us, and we don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
That shit comes from childhood. I suffered from abandonment. So my sense of belonging was always fractured. And even if I wasn't a pick me, even if I wasn't a person that was like, pick me, I still internally wanted someone to choose. And I took your route, Shanique. We took the same route. You know what? Bet it'll just be me, myself, and I. No problem. Because I can trust me. I can see me. But I still had a sense of not belonging because it showed up in lack. I want you to understand something. Not belonging shows up in lack. When you feel like you don't belong, that equals lack. Your money is impacted, your love is impacted, how you dress is impacted, your life experiences is impacted, how you walk in a room is impacted. Chandra said, "I really get it." What you feeling, Shanique?
Um, I'm still
Natalie said, go ahead.
processing. I'm still trying to put all of the things together
What's the part that you're struggling with most?
because I think because the because the concept is mental, I don't feel like I can tangibly hold on to the thing. And so I keep referring back to like people, places, and situations.
But it's
Um,
not because it's not because it's not tangible. It's because your ego is trying to keep you safe and familiar, Shanique.
mhm,
Because to have this concept is to mean that, oh shit, I belong, and you've built your life on not belonging.
mhm,
You've built your life brick by brick, not belonging to your family, not belonging to the place you work at. And you put yourself in leadership in every space because leadership is isolation as well.
mhm,
You want to get into it? Yeah.
mhm,
A part of that for all of us is that leadership is isolating. So that means that I get to decide and I don't have to worry about nobody else.
yeah, mhm,
Right? And a part of that now is as I'm in leadership, I want to be in leadership and I want to not only be in leadership, but know that I belong up here and I want to be supported while I'm up here.
mhm,
That's the whole I got it, I'm gonna do it myself. Because if I gotta explain it to you, then I might as well have done it. Let me go ahead and take care of it. Da 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 da. That's all of that burnt out. That's all of that. Needing to be validated for how you show up because that sense of belonging impacts everything. That's the only reason why you'd be hesitant to show up. Because what are people gonna think? What are people gonna do? Even if that's not your conscious thought, that's what your body's saying. So I want you to recognize that your ego is working overtime. The
mhm,
same for Diana, the same for anybody who's having a block here, because this concept, not because pressure said it, but because this concept is butting up against how you've built your entire life. And what does it mean if I now believe that I belong? And who am I if I walk around with a sense of belonging? Am I going to be trying to be friends with these people? Am I going to be trying to fit into their circles? I already know how you think it should be. I already know, because that's what the ego does. It projects a story around. Now, what is it gonna mean for me to show up? And what I'm saying is that it was never about them motherfuckers to begin with. It was always about you taking your sense of not belonging into these spaces because that's what we grew up with. If you grew up with a fractured relationship with your parent, mother or father, if you had a step parent that made you feel like you ain't belong, if you had kids in high school, in elementary school that made you feel like you didn't belong, whenever you decided, oh my gosh, I don't fit in, I don't belong, that story doesn't leave you until you decide that that's no longer the story. And what I'm trying to say is our sense of belonging has to be rooted now that we're choosing and we're talking about manifesting abundance. Our sense of belonging has to be rooted in this circle, whatever the circle is, circle of expansive opportunities, beautiful, abundant relationships, everything that it explains. So I'm going to read this to you. No one can keep you out but you. There's no fence, there's no gate, there's no ticket taker. No one but you can control, no one but you can take yourself out of the circle. And most of us do so hundreds of times a day. Stay with me, Shanique. I see the breakthrough in your forehead. Stay with me, Diana. To get out quickly, here are several accelerated routes. This is how you get out of the circle. Y'all ready for this? Okay. I am not enough. There is not enough. This can never work. It's impossible. It's too late. Nobody cares. It's too hard. I don't deserve it. I don't belong. Accelerated routes out of the circle can also take these forms: shallow and no breathing, slumped shoulders, furrowed brow, tense neck, clenched jaw, and a collapsed chest. Frown, facial expression. Stay right there, Shanique. Don't move. Whether you leave the circle by way of internal messages or by way of physical constriction, the result is the same. Scarcity and struggle take hold. If my aim is to prove I am enough, the project goes to infinity because the battle was already lost. The day I conceded, the issue was motherfucking debatable. The day I decided to go back and forth about my work, the day I decided to prove that I was worthy, the day that I decided to try to try to fit in, to try to be a part of, versus standing in this and letting the circle that I belong to expand to include me. Because the circle I belong to is where God lives. It's where everything is good at. Unmute, Shanique.
I got it. But I'm always cracking jokes. And so when you said it, I was like, let me sit up real straight. And I got
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Diana, what you got? Y'all, I'm gonna go over about 15 minutes. So if you have to drop off, no announcement necessary. Just keep going because I want to make sure we lock this in. And you can watch the replay for the end of it because you're gonna want that. Go ahead, Diana.
I get it. That is a story that I have been telling myself ever since I went to nursery school. I'm tall, I don't fit in. My hair is short, I don't fit in. My hair is curly, I don't fit in. And then I felt the need to prove everywhere. That's just some amazing shit right there. So let me shut up. That's some amazing. I'm about to cry. That's the damn
Yes.
story I've been telling myself since I was a little girl.
And it's not
A
true.
little girl, and it's a lie. It's a
It's a
straight up
lie.
lie.
Yes. Yes, Diana.
Oh my
Yes. Yes.
God.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. It's a lie. Okay, let's proceed. Remember, the only thing you need to do once you've come out of the circle, because of whatever reason, right, is to give yourself consent to come back in, right? And so, if you can accelerate yourself out, you can accelerate yourself in. And the only way you need to accelerate yourself back in is what? What do you need to give? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Sanithia. Consent. I belong. That's your consent. I belong. Not I belong to these mere humans. What, Shanique, why do we care? Let me explain something to y'all. I don't give a fuck about belonging in a circle with humans, but we've been taught to. So what we're doing is untangling the wires so that we can have a sense of belonging with the people and the places and the things that are designed to hold space for us, our bigness, our expansiveness. The moment we concede that we don't belong, we play the game of eligibility. Or we play the opposite game of I'm gonna be over here in isolation. You can't get everything done over there. You need people. You need your tribe. You need your people. You need support. You need love. You deserve it. You deserve love. You deserve your tribe. You deserve support. And it's not about creating all of these sub circles so that people have a sense of belonging. It's about you walking in every space with a sense of belonging. And then it expands for you. Before you know it, you're like, where y'all people come from? Okay. And oh, y'all like, oh, we did. Oh, okay. This is exactly what I like. This is perfect. Yes. Oh, we going here. Perfect. Let's do it. Yes, yes, yes. I'm in my own sense of belonging. I belong here. Everywhere I am, I belong. Everywhere I am, I belong. Everywhere I desire to be. It's not about fitting in. It's about standing right where you are and deciding, I belong here. I belong where there's success. I belong where people are profitable. I belong where there is the best of the best and where people are talking well about each other and where there's art and music and a grand piano. I belong in those spaces. That's where I belong. Let me remember that. Let me remember that. Here's what I want to say, because I'm not going to have enough time to do all the stuff I wanted to do. We're going to have to do a part 2 tomorrow. We belong because we choose to belong. We don't force or demand it because that would mean we're still playing the game of eligibility. Consent is simply accepting our place in the flow of life. Consent is simply accepting our space in the flow of life, our place in the flow of life. It's a choice made moment to moment. Y'all have heard me say this 100 different times. You've heard me say this 100 different times that you must decide. It's your power of decision. You've heard me say this. And in hearing me say that, I want you to hear it from a different perspective as we relate to this circle. It's a choice made moment by moment. Whenever you notice you're out of the circle, consent to come back in. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to take Shaquila, for instance, because that was such a profound example. And I'll even take Judith. I'll take Judith, for example. When I said, Judith, can you get it? Can you get the email or the letter done today? She said, well, we'll see how spirit moves. We'll see what spirit says. Was that an in the circle or out of the circle that we're talking about moment? Unmute, Judith.
That's totally out of the circle, though.
Why?
Because I decided at that moment that was my excuse. That was my limiting belief that I can and I can do, I can get it done. So that was me removing myself from the circle and saying,
Because in
well,
a circle, it's 100,000 opportunities. In a circle, it's always flowing. It's always good. In a circle, somebody is gonna. In a circle, this is ever flowing, right? There's no perfect time because time doesn't exist in a circle. Do y'all get it? Let me know if y'all got it in the comments. The same with the example for Shaquila. It's like, go live now. And when she went live, somebody was there, happy to see her. Because the circle does that. It's ever flowing. It's always where creativity lives. It's always where abundance is at. It's always. We put self-imposed limitations like time, age, hair texture, body shape, all those things. Here's what I really want you to hear me say. When we take ourselves out of the circle, we are separating ourselves from source. You're separating yourself from God, from whatever you believe God to be. And there's no reason for that. You're separating yourself from all that is, because that's the only circle that matters. Everything else flows from that circle. Nothing else matters, y'all. Whatever I believe, the highest entity above myself that my power comes from, that's the circle. That's the only circle that matters. That's where it's ever flowing. There's no judgment. There's nobody saying you're good or you're bad. There's nobody saying you sin. You got to earn your way. There is no give your life to nothing because you got to earn your way to get into this space. That's not what this is. That's religion. That's your family. That's your job. That's your sorority. They make you prove your worthiness. They make you prove that you belong. Not this circle, not where God lives. Where God lives, you're already a part of experiencing creativity and ever-flowing relationships and health and abundance and ease and joy. It's always like that over here in this circle. It's never not like that in this circle. But you're allowing humans who may hold a human title and have human responsibilities to project onto you what is right and what is wrong. When they trying to figure the shit out themselves, after they finish telling you, yeah, you need to do this, and this is what the Bible says, and this is what the Quran, and this is what this says. They go back in the room and what? How can I? Dang, they're lost. They don't know. This is everybody's first time being human. In this personality, in this season, this is everybody's first time being human. This is everybody's first time being human. Do y'all understand? All the people who have intimidated you, who have scared you, who you've allowed, you've projected your fear onto them and they've returned it back to you. Everybody's still here trying to figure it out. So just for today, Shakila said, and we trigger them. Actually, what happens is, yes, and we reflect back to them the freedom that they didn't choose. We reflect back to them that they forfeited their power of choice to be a part of a circle that could never be ever flowing of all things that are good and that are plentiful. And can you imagine knowing you could have made that decision and still can? And I see somebody who made it, who made that decision to be in that space, and I didn't. Diana says, when I take myself out of the circle, am I obstructing God's ability to move the universe on my behalf? Diana, unmute.
Okay. Yes.
Answer the question.
Yes. The answer is yes, right?
Why'd
Because
you
I
ask
take,
it?
well, because that was the card that I pulled today, and I never pulled that. I do it before we get on, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? I think I'm doing all that I said I was going to do. And I had no idea that I was obstructing
Mm-hmm.
God's ability to move the
Mm-hmm.
universe on my behalf. So that's
Absolutely.
why I've often told myself, well, he works for you, but he don't work for me, and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Ooh. Ooh, Diana, that's powerful what you just said. A reporter once asked Albert Einstein, Dr. Einstein, if you could ask the universe a single question and receive a direct reply, what would you ask? His response was immediate, as though he had been pondering it for quite some time. The question he asked is the universe friendly? What is your answer to this essential question? It's worth noting how we answer this question forms the basis of our response to all that we encounter in our lives. Whether whether or not we allow ourselves in or out of any given situation depends on it. So that's exactly what you just said, Diana. You just said like when you would say stuff like, "Well, he worked for you, but he don't work for me." That's recognizing like, nah, like clearly God is always whatever you believe God to be. God is always moving the universe on your behalf. But free will, the thing about free will, y'all, that's why you can't say shit like, I'm waiting on God. Because that goes against the principle of free will. Do you understand? And free will is a reflection of our God body. We are God because we have free will. That's the reflection of God that exists in us. We've been programmed and raised and convinced to believe that how we show up and what we do and be should be contingent on other people's approval and validation and fitting in and a sense of belonging and tribe and all these things with other humans that are also wanting that same thing. And so the question that God asked me, that spirit asked me when I was sitting 3 rows away from Oprah on stage, Iyanla Vanzant behind me, Deepak Chopra, Elizabeth Gilbert, Rob Bell, they're literally in the row behind me. Iyanla's like rubbing the back of my head because my hair was cut. The question that source asked me, that Mother God dropped into my spirit was, do you want what they can provide? Or do you want to be connected directly to the source? I was in a space of like, okay, I'm meeting these people. They're in my industry. They're going to propel my career and put me on a stage, and people are going to know about me. And God was like, that's possible. And we can make it happen. But do you want the blessings that's going to come from them, or do you want to walk this walk with me and get what I'm going to give you because it's direct? Because if you get it from them, you're only getting a portion, a very minute portion of what I can provide, because this over here is everlasting. This over here is ever flowing. This stream is never not going. And you can take yourself in, you can take yourself out, because free will does that too. It's the same as it relates to people. I need you to see people as other people that are just like you trying to figure this shit out. And all of us, all of us, all of us have the ability to choose. That's what makes us human. And the card said, right? My life is what I created to be. I didn't handpick this when it came out, because that's, you know, when the spirit be moving, the spirit be moving. The current condition and state of your life is what you have created it to be based on your core beliefs. We're back to day one. Your core beliefs is why you believe the circle is what it is or ain't what it's supposed to be. That's the boom, that's the cat, that's the pow. I want to take the last 2 minutes, and I want to hear from each and every one of you. So if you're not able to speak, make sure you type it in the comments. I want to hear from each and every one of you. What is your takeaway from today? And I want you to check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Get clear with you. Eyes closed. Deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. That just simply means open up your mouth and let your jaw fall. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Relax your ears. Relax your scalp. Relax your cheeks. Deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. Deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. When you're ready, open your eyes and share what it is that you've gained as a result of today's session.
To be precise, I was one of those people who feel like I don't belong, but the don't belong meant I don't really fit in here because we're not on that same deep level of consciousness. Today, here and now, I recognize that I consented internally to name and also remove myself out of the aligned circle, my internal circle with source, instead of giving the consent that I belong, instead of naming it to say, well, you know, I can't I can't rock with you because you can't relate to me. So having the awareness and the kind of come to Jesus today moment, that that is my internal circle. That is me consenting. That is, it's a whole different title. It's a whole different understanding for me
Mm,
of belonging.
okay.
And
All
thank you.
right. Yeah, thank you. All right. Um, Judith,
Yep.
I want you to sit with something I'm getting ready to say. That doesn't feel like that belongs to you. And I want you to dig deep in terms of that sense of belonging, not about like deep conscious level and all of that. That's very surface. But I want you to dig deeper And remember where your sense of belonging was first interrupted. And I want you to work from that place.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. Who's next? Go ahead and unmute if you're ready.
I'll hop in.
Yes.
This was this is a continuous flow for me. And so this isn't just a, ooh, got it, good. This is an ebb and flow out of everyday life. Like, how am
Mhm.
I remaining plugged in? How am I posturing myself as a full body? I'll say a full body yes. How am I saying yes to source? Like, how is my walk confirming that I am sure that I am taken care of, that I belong, that taken care of by source is what I mean. That, and so when you were speaking, I said, okay, this kind of reminds me of the vortex. Like, all this goodness, all this goodness is with me always. But when I externalize my worth, when I externalize my belonging, it's like I don't know. I'm struggling with finding the words, but what I wrote is that I'm one of one. There's no need to other myself, and I get to stay plugged in. And so it's
Mhm.
just a conscious decision of continuing to reaffirm my worthiness
Mhm.
of being in the space, having the thing, desiring the thing,
I got
having,
you.
you
I got you.
know,
I got you. What I want for you, um, Tequila, this is gonna be a strip down season for you.
mhm,
You're gonna have to strip down and like really, you're gonna have to strip down and rebuild. But you're also gonna have to let go of what you've been holding. Cause you got it. The concept is perfect. And yes, it is. You're absolutely right. It is that checking in, that worthiness, that realignment. It is all of those things. But there's a strip down that's necessary for you to see your bare self without all the things.
yeah,
Um, that is going to be powerful for you because it's also going to aid in how you show up. What you did yesterday when you picked up that phone and pressed live,
yeah,
that's you walking back in the circle. That Facebook thing, that whole storyline you gave around Facebook, that's what I wanted to hear you say in real live example, because that's where you feel like I don't belong. Everybody's watching me from all these other places, from all these walks of life, and it's a lot of
yeah,
judgment. Do she believe in God? Where do you belong? You're not talking to them. You're not talking to them. You're not talking to them. When you speak about whatever you speak about, you're not trying to convince people to believe what you believe. You're only sharing where you're at. But if you know where you belong, then what they think doesn't matter, not because they don't matter. They could be important people to you, but because ultimately, one, you're not talking to them. You're talking to people who are ready to hear the information that you're providing. And two, you're not intimidated by what they might think or how they might feel or how they might respond. It wouldn't matter. It's not up for debate. The moment you start debating is the moment you concede.
yeah.
Got it?
Ooh, I got it.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Got
beautiful. Natalie, I saw yours earlier. I'm sorry, Nat. Natalie said, I am committed to changing my narrative. My perspective has transcended. Yes. Come on. Very timely. Yes. 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 Shanique said, I am realizing how much I created a narrative of separation and how it has impacted my life to this day. I thought that this isolation meant free. Shanique, don't make me cry, girl. Don't you do it. Um, I thought that this isolation meant freedom, but actually it's been a cage. Oh, how- I told, so y'all know that I do this work, but I also have a team that supports me. And I'm working with a new person this year, since last year, and they've been incredible. And I said to them, she asked me the question everybody always asks me, why are your numbers what they are on Instagram? Why? And not because she cares about Instagram, but it's a reflection of, like, enough people knowing you exist, right? And Source has been saying to me, like, Precious, more people need to know you exist. More people need to know you exist. And I'm like, I really enjoy being the best kept secret. I really enjoy people having to find me through referral. If you know, you know. And she said to me, but you're not supposed to be a secret. You're not meant to be a secret. You're not a secret. And the more she said it, y'all, the third time, tears were everywhere. Because the image that came up for me was seeing my mother, 14 years old, 8 months pregnant, hiding me at 8 months, hiding me at 8 months because she was 14 and I was her second kid. I was created in shame and being hidden. And when I was born, there was a reinforcement of that feeling that I got in my creation that I didn't belong. You had that first baby, but now you got a second baby? Absolutely not. And my grandmother didn't like girls or light-skinned people. So I had two strikes against me. And I was the second child. And she hid me. And when I came, the reinforcement was, you don't belong in this family. Those were verbal words that were said to me. And in that moment, as soon as she said, you're not a secret, Source was like, look at this. Look at this. This is where this came from. This is why subconsciously you think you desire to be the best kept secret. This is why you ain't went viral. This is why I know people don't know you exist. This is why you've consciously hid yourself. Because you didn't think you belonged. That is why I'm teaching this the way that I'm teaching it today, y'all. Y'all know I do this shit for me first. I want you to get this overflow. Knowing that I belong shifted everything for me. I didn't even know that I struggled with belonging in that way. Because, like Shanique, I built my life on independence. I have friends and stuff like that, and people who love me and adore me and all of that. But in terms of what I do and how I live my life, it's pretty isolated. I have fun, I hang out, I party and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, like, I'm an introvert. I'm in here. I can be in here for days on end, thinking that I'm creating freedom and flexibility and all these things, not realizing that my very existence and how I show up has been impacted by me being hidden, because that message that was sent was that I was a secret, the best kept secret. So I want you to know that this space of honoring and owning who you are and honoring and owning your sense of belonging in the circle can't be limited to human beings. It don't have nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you and everything to do with what you decide for yourself. You get to decide. You get to decide. And every time I post something, every time I collaborate with somebody, which is new for me, I haven't collaborated with anybody in 10 years. I've supported other people. I've spoken on their stages. I've carried their events for them. I've done those kinds of things. But as far as me actually collaborating equally in partnership with someone on a project, I've never done that before. I'm doing that now. that's contribution, right? From my own sense of belonging. When people see me show up in this work, they automatically assume I believe that I belong. And as far as I knew, I did. Until it was time for me to come all the way to the front. I was called all the way to the front. You know how you taking pictures in a group and they say all the short people move to the front and you in the middle and you still hidden and they like, is there somebody behind Sheila? Yeah, Judith, come up here. You're too short to be back there. And you're like, oh, okay. And you move to the front. Not wanting to be seen is connected to your sense of belonging. I want to know what y'all got. I want to know. Anything else that y'all want to share about what you got?
I want to share. Hey, I got that the circle is stronger, as strong as a piece of bias, right? Bias is when you um ironically, bias is when you cut something on an angle, and it goes for, it allows more to happen because it allows stretch to what it needs. And that's where my life has been since I decided to love me, that I
Mm-hmm.
know that I belong everywhere I am. If I'm in
Mm.
the grocery store, I belong there. And to put it in a circle, it's kind of like, if you're a jury maker and I'm not, creating a strong chain is never ending. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
circles intersecting, but it's actual, circles that's crossing over. So even
Exactly.
though I might be at the bottom, I'm still part of the circle,
Mm.
because
And
that's
there is no bottom.
right. Yeah,
Yeah. No, but I get what you're
exactly.
saying. Yeah, it's ever looping. It's infinity.
That's the same with the bias, because sometimes I talk in sewing because that's what I know.
For sure.
It's very strong, and it continues to allow things to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you, Chandray.
and thank you
You're welcome.
for all that you allow um us to take part in, when we get together. Thank you for that, Coach V.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's my pleasure. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Sanithia, what you got?
I just this was so I don't like not seeing myself. I might look crazy, but that's uh,
You don't look crazy, by the way.
okay. Thank
That's
you.
the out of the circle comment.
That is out of the circle. You're right. You're right. I This was so incredible. I can't think of the words,
Mm,
but it was so incredible and timely for me. Um, you're so ordained. Like it's really amazing because it's just confirmation of a lot of things and a lot of things that are shifting and happening. Um, and just right, like this is a manifestation challenge. So I've been kind of debating what I'm manifesting, right? And I'm like, I kind of want this, but I kind of want that, right? And I told myself yesterday, like, okay, you're gonna get clear, right? Like that's what you need to do, right? Like you need to get clear on what you want. And today my intention was to get clear, right? Like, okay, today by the end of this, you're going to either know what you want to manifest or just understand what you need to be doing. And understanding that, or coming to a clarity of like all the things that I've been fighting as far as like belonging, right? A lot of that has to do with like what I'm trying to manifest. So like I'm a realtor, but not really, right? Like I don't really like it. You know what I mean? Like I don't hate it. I don't love it, like whatever. But like cooking has always been my thing. but telling myself like, well, this isn't really like your avenue, like you don't really know what you're doing, whatever, all this stuff, right? And today, just hearing like I belong wherever the fuck I'm standing, like just really, I don't know any other word than like revolutionary, right? Like, and that's what that's my heart is a revolter, right? Like in my heart. And going back to just like church and not feeling like, this is it, but this ain't it. Like, I need something that's like this, but ain't like this. And then sitting here on a Sunday morning, again, like I can go on for like another 40 minutes, right? Like, I'm so excited because I'm getting it, right? Like, because I'm getting these ahas, I'm understanding what my purpose is in the ways that for the last 43 years I didn't get. Like I just didn't understand. And I think the reason why so many of us feel different is because we're different. And we're looking at other people like, y'all don't get it. Like, I don't get what y'all get. Like, I don't understand why y'all are doing it this way when I should be doing something different or whatever it is. So I'm grateful, but I'm also just so clear. Like, oh, I'm wherever I'm at is where I'm supposed to be. Like it had nothing to do with them. It had nothing to do with whatever. Like we can go back to the first not belonging and you know what I mean? Like, but all of it is connected. And I'm just getting it. I guess that's
Yeah.
I don't know the other word. Like I get it.
No, I
Like,
get it. Yeah.
aha, I get it. I get it.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And things are gonna continue to go off for all of you, all of us around this. You know, you're gonna start looking at yourself and the decisions that you make, and the decisions that you've made based off of, you know, this lens of not believing that you belong. And having a internal sense of belonging is a revolutionary act because we were taught to have an external sense of belonging. We were literally taught to have an external sense of belonging from the day we were born. This job, this name, this neighborhood, this school, this set of friends. Like we were taught everything outside of us was about the sense of belonging when really it was always internal between you and God, and keeping yourself in that internal flow of what this is. When it's all said and done, I'm going to share the book that this passage came from, but I'm going to share the passage today. So y'all give me a minute and I'll get the passage to y'all because Natalie requested it. Natalie was like, I want to see this every day, but I want y'all to wait till the end of our challenge before I share the book because I know y'all. I want y'all to stay right here. Stay right here. And then I'm going to share the book with you in our sacred space because that's the benefit of being in our sacred space. So I will share that with y'all actually on our Sunday call. But I want y'all to sit with this because we're putting the pieces together. This includes, right? Your day one was about your core beliefs. We laid the foundation, right? And we've been building up ever since then. Today, for your homework, right? I want you to decide, what does your sense of belonging self feel like, look like, talk like, walk like? And you don't have to describe it in every single way that I just named, but ultimately, I want you, right, to get clear about what does it feel for me? Who am I when I know I belong? Just as I am. Not changing anything, not moving anything, not fixing anything about myself, about the way I think, the way I dress, the way I walk, the way I talk. Me using profanity is one, because I enjoy it. Two, because they told me that I couldn't do this and use profanity. They told me that God wouldn't bless it. And I knew that wasn't true. And I prove them wrong every time I say make amazing shit happen. Well, what the fuck are you thinking? Right? The point I'm making is I've decided I belong. And you know what happened? Y'all found me and I was able to stand right where I was at and y'all expanded around me. If we're talking physically, this is what happened. Now we're talking energetically in every single way. Every time I take my belonging self into a restaurant, into a space, into a group of other women with the sense of belonging, they end up recognizing that they end up feeling like they don't belong where I'm at. And that's their own shit. I don't walk away feeling like I don't belong, because that's crazy. I do. Not belong to them, not belong to in their circle. I got my own circle. That is built in creativity, everlasting relationships, wellness, love, pleasure, ease. It's where God lives. So we're going to keep digging here. But your homework is to get clear about when I feel complete belonging, this is how I feel. These are the decisions that if you want to get really into this work, get clear about the decision that you would make about your life right now with this sense of belonging. Got it? Any questions? Yes, your circle is absolutely internal and personal. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for doing this work today. I'm so grateful for your clarity and your aha moments. Thank you for your love. Thank you for showing up on this Sunday morning. Thank you for showing up early. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your consistency. I'm so grateful for y'all. Y'all make my day. Y'all knock my socks off. Today, you knocked my socks off. All of you. You knocked my socks off. I appreciate y'all. This is what I do it for. This work is so rewarding for me when we have breakthroughs like this. And even the journey to your breakthrough is rewarding for me because we got to see the process. We get to see the process. And in seeing the process in myself, and Shakila, and Judith, and Shanique, and Diana, Sanithia, Natalie, Chandre, in us seeing the process, we know it's possible. And we get to choose. Have an amazing Sunday, y'all. I love y'all. See y'all in the morning. Peace.